The grip of authority, how authoritarian systems function, appeal, and endanger. Authoritarian systems are characterized by centralized power and the suppression of dissent. They concentrate authority in a single individual, an elite group, or a dominant political party. Regimes often achieve power through force, manipulation, or a combination of both. These systems dismantle democratic institutions such as free elections and an independent judiciary. They replace them with mechanisms designed solely to maintain the regime's grip on power. This ensures the ruling entity remains unchallenged. Strict censorship of information is a cornerstone of authoritarian control. Regimes meticulously control the flow of news and ideas. This prevents citizens from accessing alternative viewpoints. Surveillance of citizens is another key tactic. Governments monitor communications and activities to identify and suppress potential opposition. This creates an environment of constant scrutiny. Secret police or the military are often used to quell any form of dissent. These forces act as the regime's enforcers, silencing critics through intimidation and violence. Their actions instill fear and discourage resistance. State control of the economy is common, dictating production and distribution. This allows the regime to control resources and reward loyalty while punishing dissent. Individual economic freedom is severely limited. Restrictions are placed on freedom of assembly, expression, and religion. These fundamental rights are curtailed to prevent any organized opposition or independent thought. The regime seeks to control all aspects of public life. State-controlled media serves as a primary tool for disseminating propaganda. The regime uses media outlets to shape public opinion and maintain its legitimacy. This ensures a constant stream of pro-government narratives. Propaganda often glorifies the leader through carefully crafted narratives. The leader is presented as infallible and essential to the nation's well-being. This cultivates a cult of personality. Internal and external enemies are demonized to justify the regime's actions. Scapegoating creates a sense of unity against a common threat. This distracts from internal problems and reinforces loyalty. Propaganda aims to shape public opinion and discourage critical thinking. It promotes unquestioning obedience and suppresses independent thought. This ensures the population remains compliant. Authoritarian regimes create an atmosphere of intimidation through various means. This climate of fear discourages dissent and reinforces obedience. The regime maintains control through psychological manipulation. Arbitrary arrests and torture are used to silence opposition. These brutal tactics send a clear message to anyone considering challenging the regime. The threat of violence is ever present. Extrajudicial killings are sometimes employed to discourage dissent. These acts of violence serve as a stark warning to potential rebels. The regime demonstrates its willingness to use extreme measures. The internalization of fear leads to self-censorship. Citizens become reluctant to express their true opinions, even in private. This creates a society where dissent is driven underground. Reluctance to challenge the status quo becomes widespread. The fear of reprisal outweighs the desire for change. This perpetuates the regime's control. Authoritarianism can appeal to some by promising stability and order during times of crisis. When societies face chaos or uncertainty, the promise of a strong leader can be alluring. This perceived stability can outweigh concerns about individual freedoms. The appeal to national pride and the restoration of greatness is another common tactic. Regimes often exploit nationalist sentiments to rally support. They promise to return the nation to a perceived golden age. Protection from external threats is often used as a justification for authoritarian rule. The regime presents itself as the only force capable of defending the nation. This fear-based appeal can be effective in gaining support. The allure of a strong leader who can deliver on promises can be powerful. People may be drawn to a leader who projects confidence and offers simple solutions to complex problems. This can lead them to overlook the dangers of unchecked power. The suppression of dissent stifles innovation and progress. When people are afraid to express new ideas, society stagnates. This lack of intellectual freedom hinders development. Lack of accountability leads to corruption and abuse of power. Without checks and balances, those in power are free to act in their own self-interest. This can result in widespread corruption and injustice. Vulnerability to the whims of the leader can lead to disastrous policies. When decisions are made without input or oversight, the consequences can be severe. The leader's personal biases and flaws can have a devastating impact. Human rights violations are a common outcome of authoritarianism. The regime prioritizes its own power over the rights and freedoms of its citizens. This often leads to widespread abuses. China exemplifies authoritarian systems through its pervasive surveillance and censorship. The government closely monitors its citizens' online and offline activities. This ensures strict control over information and expression. Nazi Germany demonstrated the dangers of authoritarianism through its brutal persecution of minorities and aggressive expansionism. The regime's ideology of racial superiority led to genocide and war. This serves as a stark warning about the consequences of unchecked power. North Korea is a modern example of authoritarianism, characterized by a cult of personality and isolationist policies. The Kim dynasty has maintained absolute control for decades. The country remains isolated from the rest of the world. Authoritarian systems serve as stark reminders of the fragility of freedom. The erosion of democratic institutions can lead to oppression and suffering. Vigilance is essential to protect individual rights. The enduring threat posed by systems prioritizing power over individual rights demands constant awareness. We must remain vigilant in defending democratic values and resisting the allure of authoritarianism. The preservation of freedom requires constant effort.